wrong. And in the event that I'm not, a barista. I have finally gotten to make some time to do our Greece wrap-up trip. So this video is going to just tell you guys some tips about what to do. Don't overdo it in Greece, okay? Don't overdo it. If you're already traveling to Greece, there is a strong chance that you travel a bit. So you don't need to try to pack everything in. Because if you love it like I loved it, you'll be back. You'll be back. It is so grown and sexy, you guys. It is so grown and sexy. I definitely want to go back at least twice. Partly because I didn't get to do every island. I didn't get to do some local islands. So that brings us to our very first do this versus that is to travel during the non-peak season. So anyone will tell you that the peak season, I believe, is from like June to end of August, where it's drastically warm, but all the tourists is there. If you can manage, and any local will tell you this, if you can manage, attempt to try to travel to Greece during September through October, preferably September, because the weather will still be very nice. But also everybody have went back home to send their kids to school, and girl, you won't have to be out there with millions of tourists. So, and a snooty attitude from the locals because they be up here with it by that time is what we've heard. So definitely attempt to travel during a non-peak season. We got to go early October. The weather was great. We've gotten in a hot tub, a pool, or maybe even gone to a beach, but it was kind of like a long sleeve kind of weather. It was spring. I wouldn't want to be tanning, but I'm at an age, and during my travels, I'm looking to do more cultural things. I don't need to always be at the pool, but though that is an ideal vacation for me, it doesn't have to be all my vacation. So we elected to go in October, where we knew the weather would be great, but also afford us an opportunity to kind of travel about with not so many tourists on the island. So try to consider that, you guys. Just some quick tips before we kind of get into everything is I strongly encourage you, in any travel, you want to try to do your conversion. They have a euro versus the dollar. It's about the same conversion currently in terms of the rate, but we did do conversions prior to going to Greece, which was great because everybody doesn't take your card, and it's just easier, especially if you're in a group with people, to just pay euros, right? You don't have to worry about it, with the exception of maybe one spot. I think I'd use my Visa card, and Uber drives just because it's linked to my card, but everything else I paid with the euro. And that will be another tip, is to just convert your money to whatever the conversion, a euro, wherever you're coming from, convert your money so you actually have cash on hand to pick up items if you are in little small shops or while you're at eateries. Many people don't have the capacity to swipe, is what I kind of discovered. So that is just a key tip for you guys. We flew into Athens, which is the capital of Greece, and it has a lot of the historical preservations and museums there, which was so incredible. The visions and the views of it just really bring light that there's so much life that was before us, and certainly will be more life after us. And it just remind us to just preserve your own culture, preserve, whatever. I digress. We flew into Athens, and we stayed a couple days in Athens. We did some of the tourist sites. And then we went into Santorini. Another group who also traveled with us had went a little earlier and actually had an opportunity to go to Mykonos, which they said was beautiful and that they loved it. One of the things that, speaking with someone who has traveled to Greece before, they advised that we didn't overdo it, right? To really try to spend the time we needed in each place so that we can do kind of some of those fun things and those touristy things where you don't feel like you're jumping on a ferry or you're jumping on a plane on every day, right? So that was one of the tips that I had gotten early on. So I chose not to do Mykonos because it would have put my time in another location much shorter. But I would say that. So that's one of my key things I would tell you, is to not try to maximize all of your travel in one trip, right? Try to really get a grasp and enjoy the places you're in versus trying to travel to island to, in a shorter period of time. Now, if you're going for 14 days, girl, have at it. Explore all the islands you absolutely can, or narrow it down to at least 4, and then kind of just the local islands and the well-known islands, and then just enjoy it, right? Like really spend 2 days or so there, eating out, visiting the sites, so you can really understand the culture. Jumping on a ferry or jumping on a plane a day after may not always be the best way to experience countries, location, whatever, right? So that would be my other advice. Try not to overdo it, you guys. It's going to be so tempting because you're like, I can get a ferry for this amount of hours, or I can jump on a plane and it's only this, and it's fairly inexpensive to do, but then what, right? Then you go there for a day and then you're jumping back to go to your next spot. So try not to just put so much into that one trip. Try to really consider, do the research of where you really want to visit, and then go there and enjoy your time there. So that will be my other tip. Don't overdo it. Transportation. So we're going to kind of break transportation down in a couple ways. We again went from Athens to Santorini, and in that course we flew. The group that was a portion of the group flew to the location, right? There was another group that did the ferry. The ferry was just the same cost, maybe $10 to $20 less, but it was the same as just getting a flight, but much longer. For example, a ferry from Athens to Santorini, I believe, was 6 hours. On a regular ferry, I think it was 6 hours. Because think about it, they're also taking people from local islands to local islands. Some of them are not just a straight shot. So you have 6 hours that you're losing in a location. So versus taking a flight for an hour for $80, right? Could be a better option, especially if you have to return back to a location or you're flying out the location that you're going into. It's a cheaper cost. So just consider it. Do all your research when you're thinking about the transportation of how you'll actually get to the islands. Many people do the ferry because it appears cheaper, or they may grab packages that include a ferry cost. But the ferries are about $80 too, right? It's about $80 one way. So if you have to get the ferry back, you're nearing $200, where you could have just gotten a flight one way, $100 or $80, depending on when you got how soon in advance you are actually planning your trip. Because if you get it ahead, you can actually even pay less for your flight. So I would encourage you guys to do this, is get on a plane, versus to do that, which is ride one of those long ferries. Beautiful sights, I can imagine. I didn't get on the ferry because I really, again, wanted to maximize the time in my locations. So it made more sense for me to just, miss an hour of activities versus 6 hours or that sort of thing. So part of the transportation, you guys have to do this. You have to get on the local bus. Girl, I mean, I'm in a city. I live here in Washington, D.C. If you are getting on a bus in a different country, I don't know. I've done it many places on travel. I'm not one that's scared to be with the locals. I actually enjoy it. I kind of see how they engage and that sort of thing. So part of where our villa was, it was about 6 of us. So we had gotten a villa in Santorini, and we knew that there would be a bus right outside of the villa that could take us up to, oh yeah, I think it's the name of it. I'm going to put it here. I'm sure that I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but we went into the town in Santorini on the bus. And on times came back. We did, because it was a large group, also do private transportation for when we were traveling late as a group and was out at dinner and that sort of thing. And high heels, girl, because nobody's walking around nobody's island in umps or being cute, right? So we did get a private transportation during those periods. But you think about it, between all of us for one way from where we were, and we stayed in, my mind escaped me, Kamara, I think is that. We stayed in Kamara, which was maybe about 15 minutes into actual, oh yeah. Oh yay. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I'm not greedy. Nonetheless, but I would say that it was well worth the experience. Girl, you get your food, get back on the bus with the locals, and the bus is just one circle. At least our bus was. You had to go to the bus depot just to get to, like, even if where you were going was this way, south of where you were going, you had to go up to the bus depot just to get the bus to go back to wherever you were going. So I thought that was very, very interesting. But in that, it just seemed to be one large circle, the area that we traveled. Now, we didn't get to go to some of the other locations that we wanted to go to just because of timing, and we wanted to take the bus there versus trying to get the public transportation. I had a very short window to do it, so we wind up foregoing that experience, but definitely it'll be on the next one. So I would say to at least don't do all these Uber rides, you guys. Certainly go out and be a part of the culture. Get on a bus. I think the bus may have been $1.60, $1.20 maybe. I don't even remember. Maybe less, maybe 80 cents, because I feel like at times I was paying for 2 people, which made the expense more. I think maybe about $1.60 or so, but it was super inexpensive, and you got to kind of see the town where people live, where people were traveling from, and it just gave off a different experience. Like, okay, small T. Greek salad in Greece is not the same as it is here. It's feta and it's tomatoes. That's a Greek salad, okay? It didn't have no olives in it. It didn't have no lettuce. Baby, when you travel, you just experience the real, delicious nonetheless. Quite fresh. Very delicious, but so different than what we're used to here. We have Americanized a Greek salad, okay? Greek salad in Greece and feta, olive oil, maybe a couple onions. But listen, difference to say the least. I digress, which brings me to the point of explore new foods there. I'll try to pop up some pictures of the group's food and my food. We went to a great restaurant that my daughter found for her friend's birthday celebration, and the food was incredible, y'all. When I tell y'all, bust down. The food was so freaking good. Fresh. The service was on one. We met John, and he is our forever friend. I am going to tag him in this video so he knows it's real, okay? He knows it's real. He was the vibe. And the video he did for us was even more just solidify his friendship as part of the gang. So they had bread that had like different kind of butters. That sound basic-ish, but I promise you it wasn't. It was like a rosemary butter with some other herb, and it was everything you didn't know you needed. On it. Take my word on it. It was the bomb. The steak, baby, I'll insert some pictures. Try new food. While we got the gyro, potato, I don't know what you call them, but obviously the very famous Greek wraps, lamb, chicken, whatever. I've had one in a lamb and a chicken, and again, it's uncomparable. I don't even know where I would go to get some food like that locally. I just don't know. I'm not even going to try to rival the food that we received there. It was just delicious. But I would tell you to just, one of the things that my daughter always liked to do just on travel, if they have like a McDonald's, she'll try to go to a McDonald's because it always offers something different on the menu, and she tries to try that item on the menu. My daughter doesn't eat McDonald's here locally, but it's a fun thing for her to do. So if you're anything that like a person who just don't want to try new things, go on a limb, try something new, and I'm sure you would love it. We went to do hookah for my daughter's 23rd birthday, like as part of our kind of dinner night, and we had some like bites there because we had literally just eaten something before, and that food was good. The drinks were delectable. It was everything, again, you didn't know you needed. It was everything you didn't know you needed. The vibe was great. We had them playing Beyonce Renaissance album because obviously Renaissance had just coming out. So at the little club or night lounge restaurant, I don't even know what to call it. It was such a vibe. I think I have pictures of that as well. I'll insert some of those. But if y'all want to see more pictures, y'all gonna have to go on over to the blog post to check out all the things that we've done so that you can see how we lived life, just living life in Greece. And you'll have to actually go there. Yep, I'm gonna hold you to that. Thing I would tell you to do, obviously in Athens, you do want to do as many rooftops as you can, just because you can see the Acropolis from literally it's on a mountain. So any place you go, you see such a beautiful view of it. So go to some rooftop restaurants, happy hours, or wherever it is, just so that you can just bring in and embrace the culture and the beauty of what Athens have. Also Athens locals. So, I mean, there was a lady that was about to get the smoke who aggressively gave us 2 dozens of roses, aggressively giving us 2 dozens of roses, forcefully, after we have told her no, 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 and then requested, no, demanded. Homegirl demanded that we give her money, and not $1, not a donation. She was specific about how her dollar. So kind of avoid that. Converse with locals, but don't be taking free stuff from nobody because nothing's free. That lady made us pay $2 for the flowers, and we tried to give it back. She was like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. But all a part of the experience. Just brings us to laughter just to think about it. But such a great time. But you definitely want to do this. You want to talk with locals, but you don't want to do this. You don't want to get hammered down by those who are giving away free things under the pretense that it's free. And lastly, I'll leave you guys with the idea of just visit a winery. We visited a winery in Santorini called Santos. It was incredible, you guys. The views. Oh, I'll again put some pictures up there, but visit a winery. Try their actual alcohol that they have. Actually, I'll be back. So every time I go on travel, I do try to get alcohol. I brought wine back, but I also brought the ouzo. think it's pronounced ouzo, but it is their local alcohol. Baby, this stuff, I think it's 70 proof. Oh no, sorry, it's 40 proof. I think it's 40 proof. It is strong. It was like, so when we got to our initial hotel in Athens, they had some ouzo. They had a pastry for my daughter for her birthday and a nice card for her that wished her the best wishes for her birthday and her time in Greece. So that was a great start to our trip. But I wanted to just tell you to try local drinks. I mean, it's obvious you want to go to things that you love and you like, but try some of their wines, try some of their alcohol when you're there. And a good way to explore new wines is going to a winery. So definitely do this. You want to go to a winery, experience some local drinks and their wines versus doing that, which is just not, just being complacent. Certainly that is okay, but step out on the edge and do something that you wouldn't have done before. Try something new, and I'm sure you'll enjoy. You guys, this has been a long time coming, but we did it. I've been busy, but more of it is about just, again, trying to stay consistent with you guys. It is such a pleasure, just sharing my experience. Hopefully you guys will also take some of these things. I'll list the blog posts where you can find the places to go, the wines to try, the venue that we went to for the winery, so that you planning your trip, just some cool ideas or things that you can do while you're there. Take some of them, take none of them, but thank you for allowing me to share. And of course, if you made it this far, if you made it this far, it's my dance, girl. It's been a weekend. No, but if you made it this far, subscribe. So go and subscribe, you guys. So much more to come. We are across the internet. So I'm going to drop the Instagram. I'm going to drop all the tea down in the description. And if you guys have any questions for me, drop a comment. Let me know any questions you have about Greece. If you're going on travel soon, let me know where I can find your pictures at so I can come and stalk you, girl. But until next time, peace. All right, you guys, you know what to do here. Come and chat with us over at the blog site at My Truth Lies Here. Hope to see you soon. Peace.